And one last story. This story hurts me to my heart to do, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I really gotta do it. Where is it? The Young Turks. And one of my favorite Young Turks, actually two of my favorites, Jordan and Jimmy. And they're talking about Keith Olberman. And they're taking shots at the guy that I think are absolutely unfair. And I don't think they know what the hell they're talking about. So I'm going to play a little bit of it.
Because he hates Trump so much. What do you feel about the media and how they're treating this unconfirmed story based on anonymous sources inside the CIA? Even if you weren't anonymous and you're in the CIA, you're a proven liar. That's what you're paid to do. It's okay. You're a liar. You're in the CIA.
That's not fair either, by the way.
A spy. But B, if you're anonymous, an anonymous liar, that's you can't even repeat that lie and call yourself a journalist. But that's what's been happening. What do you think about all this?
Well, first on Keith Olberman, when I was a couple years ago when he was on MSNBC, I love the guy.
Yeah,
but watching him his most recent video, I got to tell you, if you turned around and you weren't looking, it sounded like Glenn Beck on Fox News. I mean, it was like deranged, the rantings of a lunatic. I think Olberman in particular has, I don't know if he's just doing it because GQ is his little test case to get back on TV. I don't know his personal why he's going off the rails right now. But yeah, it's unhinged, and it's a little like Olberman and a lot of these people.
Unhinged, off the rails. Who the fuck are you? Keith Olberman. Look, Keith Olberman gave these guys the space politically to say the shit that they're saying right now. If it wasn't for Keith Olberman, they would not exist. I guarantee you. Cenk Uygur was on MSNBC. And yeah, I know he left. I know they fell out. But at the end of the day, how do you think Cenk Uygur got on MSNBC? Keith Olberman. He gave them the space to do it. And they're talking about he's some test case of GQ. Look, when Keith Olberman first started, he was, for the most part, he would read the news. He was do the countdown. And George Bush took office. And there were stories and reports and stuff that was coming out what George Bush was doing. And he said, I think he said he was like on an airplane or something. He was reading the news. He was like, what the hell? He said, damn, somebody needs to say something about this. And he said, he was like, oh, right. I have a show. And he went on his show and he gave this impassionate, emboldened special comment about essentially what Bush was doing was wrong. That simple. Opposition. That's what he said himself as. And his management called him one day and said, hey, could you do that again? And he was like, I didn't do it for points. I didn't do it for any other reason other than I felt it. It was bugging the hell out of me. I felt it. And so he did it again. Special comment. And it ended up being not a special comment, but a commentary because of what was going on in the Bush administration. He wasn't making it up. He wasn't doing it because he was getting paid to do it. He was doing it because he felt it. So these two assholes, after X number of years of having the space to be able to say the shit that they're saying, now turns around and shits on the guy that gave him the space to say it. Oh, that's gross, man. That's gross. Look, I love the Young Turks. And oftentimes, I like both of these guys, Jimmy Dore and Sheridan. I like Sheridan. I like when he does the journalist stuff, when he goes on just rants about it. Yeah, no. So he may be right. Sometimes he may be wrong. Whatever. I like him when he does the news. Jimmy, most of the time I like Jimmy. This is not one of those times. And I feel they're being massively unfair. He has a different opinion than you, man. I don't think it's crazy for people to say, holy shit, they hacked our elections. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy for people to say Donald Trump is the goddamn apocalypse. And when he comes into office, he is going to have immense powers, and to be concerned by that. I am concerned by that. He's not crazy for that. And they're acting like he's unhinged because he's saying, look, this guy's coming in office and he can do some amazingly terrible things. We have $1 trillion in military. We have a surveillance state that's out of this world that's never existed before. We have situations where we have police that can shoot people and get away with it. That's a recipe for disaster, particularly if you're going to put a strongman in office. And you have them with every branch of government. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't think Keith Olberman is crazy for screaming at the top of his lungs, stop Trump. I'm going to be resistance. I'm going to be the one who says I'm going to be a focal point. He's not crazy for that. He's not unhinged for that. He's just being a goddamn person who has a difference of opinion. Look, you do not define the left. And there can be difference of opinion and people still be quote-unquote lefties. And this kind of shit where they're like shitting on the guy because there's a difference of... Fuck you, man. That doesn't apply. That's bullshit. Don't do that. That's gross. That's absolutely gross. Recognize that the guy has a difference of opinion. And recognize the fact that there's context to that difference of opinion that gives him reason to. There's nobody in their right mind. I may agree with Jimmy for the most part that, yeah, the Democratic Party needs to be destroyed. But there's nobody in their right mind that wants to put Trump in office and have him having that many powers. He's a reality show star. You should be concerned. You should be very concerned. And they're on here shitting on the guy who's actually concerned. What am I missing? What am I missing? Somebody listening to this and may not know who Keith Olberman is may be like, well, Jimmy might have... No, Jimmy doesn't have a point. Jimmy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about in this one. Jimmy's just mad. And I understand his anger at wanting to tear this shit down. But he's wrong. They're both wrong. Completely. Factually. In every sense of the word. Wrong. Their point of view is completely wrong. Keith Olberman is a lion. Keith Olberman started this stuff. He's the granddaddy of this stuff. So yeah. Pay respect to the person who made your career and who allowed you to be on here doing this shit. Alright. It's ready now. And look, it's not that